Welcome back to the Carolina Kart Scene, where we talk about episode number 8, and we talk about all the tracks running across South Carolina and North Carolina, and we're going to have one class out of racetrack out of Georgia this week. Last weekend, Mother Nature ruled pretty much across South and North Carolina, where most of the tracks that we talked about and other tracks that I did not realize was racing pretty much called off due to the heavy rains that we experienced this past week. So definitely a lot of people are itching to get out and go racing, so let's get to it. First racetrack we want to talk about in North Carolina is the Tri-County Kartway in Kinley, North Carolina. They'll be hosting the Crown Jewel Tour presented by Chop Shop. They have a lot of different classes on the line, and this is a really great tour. We are actually going to be racing this particular event. So if you are wanting a particular class to be filmed, to be put on the channel, let me know and I will definitely get that class going. As I mentioned, we'll be racing, so the only classes I'll probably struggle with taping are going to be the classes right before or right after Rookie Red. So definitely check them out if you're in the area. A lot of good money on the line with $2,500 going to the All-Pro winner. And also Ultimate Super Heavy will have $1,000 to win. So a lot of good money. This is a Maxxis tire event, so definitely get out. Gates open at 10 with practice starting at 12. Next up is Liberty Raceway Park at Stanley, North Carolina, running on April 15th. They have a full slate of classes running on this date, and they have a lot of guaranteed money that is up on the line. All classes are open tires, so gates open at 10 o'clock and practice will start at 1. Now, the North Carolina track running on April 15th is the Old State Line Speedway. Their gates will open up at 10 o'clock and practice starting at 2, and they're located in Lawsonville, North Carolina. In addition to their local points racing and the full slate of classes, they're also going to have the Yamaha 450 Outlaws. So as you've been seeing and I've been commenting on, there's been a lot more involvement of champ karts, outlaw karts throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, away from the traditional tracks that hold this. So definitely a good series, and good to see this series expanding into other racetracks. So if you're in the area, definitely check them out at Old State Line Speedway. Next up in South Carolina, running on April 15th, is Sugar Tit Speedway. They're having their spring fling as part of the Maxxis Kart Racing Series. This racetrack is located in Greer, South Carolina. Gates open at 7 a.m. with practice starting at 10 a.m. So definitely going to be a full day of racing, as they have a lot of classes on the line. A lot of different ones for Junior Pro, all the way up to the Champ Karts, SPG, and a lot of other events they do have it. They do have a pre-registration online, so definitely check out the Facebook page and check this event out if you're in the area. First racetrack we want to talk about in South Carolina is Low Country Kartway in Andover, South Carolina. They'll be putting on Bring the Smoke Battle Royale. They have a lot of classes that are up. This is actually going to be a Friday night and Saturday event. On Friday, gates open at 3 o'clock with practice starting at 6. Saturday is 8 a.m. Gates are open with practice starting at 11. As with other Friday night, Saturday shows, Friday night classes are not going to be the full content, so definitely check out their post on Bob's Four Cycle Forum or on their Facebook page to see what classes are running on Friday night. There's a lot of different things that are going up. They have some unique classes that are going to be running with $2,000 guaranteed to win for Saturday's event. All classes will be a Reaper tire rule, so definitely check them out and see what is going on. There's actually classes for junior classes that are going to be in on the mix, but also with red plates, so definitely check them out. Next up in South Carolina is Foothills Raceway. They are running in Easley, South Carolina, and will actually be running on Friday, April the 14th. Gates opening at 5 o'clock. This will be their first race of their Summer Point Series, and they also are including some treaded tire classes. So this is the third track we've talked about here recently that have added the treaded classes, and will be running those. So if you're in this particular area around Easley and Gray Court, then you could technically run 3 different days on this particular weekend. So if you don't have enough methanol in your hair by then you definitely can have a lot of fun this weekend. Next up, running in South Carolina is the Baby Doll Ashley Memorial Race at New Outback Speedway in Great Court, South Carolina. They'll be running on April 15th with $1,000 to win Pro Heavy, Pro Clone Heavy Maxxis, and Pro Champ. Looks like predominantly a lot of their classes is going to be on Maxxis tires. They also have a flathead race on this one. So flathead's usually not at every single track that I cover, but this is going to be one of those racetracks that will have that. So definitely, if you're in the Great Court area, definitely check them out. Gates opening at 12, practice starting at 2:30. Next racetrack we'll talk about is South Carolina, is running on actual April 16th, is Warrior Creek Speedway, with Outback and Sugar Tit running earlier on that weekend. They've decided to run on Sunday with gates opening at 1 o'clock. This is going to be an all tread Sunday, so definitely bring out the treaded tires and have some fun at Warrior Creek. Our last track to cover is jumping across the border into Georgia, is the original Checker Flag Kartway in Isla, Georgia. They'll be putting on a full slate of shows, and they had a lot of great information come out this week about the Triple Crown karting series, that they're going to be a part of the southern division of that one. I'll be talking more about that next week as we cover the races for April 22nd. But definitely a great track to get out and support and watch them as they go through the season this year.